Hi, friend. Ashley here. Welcome to the Unlock Your Dream podcast. I'm here to guide you along your journey to unlocking your dreams to achieve the best life that you can imagine possible. From my journey in medicine as a PA and then some in the corporate world, I always still desired a little bit more out of life. It wasn't until I met some people who had seen their dreams realized that it occurred to me that maybe, just maybe, mine could come true too. Come along with me as we get to know some of these friends of mine and hear their stories of unlocking their dreams. Well, hello, friend. Welcome back this week to the Unlock Your Dream podcast. I am so excited to share my new friends with you, Erin and Britt of Woda Bag here in Charleston, and just a little bit about them. So, they've been raising children here on the waters in South Carolina in Charleston, and kind of like me. So, I had a newborn last year, and it's like you just start to realize you need good backpacks and things, and there just wasn't really a good option. So, their lives became one that required a bag that really would withstand the heat of Charleston, which is no joke, the sand, the saltwater, and the pluff-mud. So kind of all the elements here. And really by combining the brains of a Clemson civil engineer and a University of South Carolina registered nurse, they've been able to truly create a comfortable, large, and mini now, functional and virtually indestructible EVA backpack. So I am just going to let you guys dive in. Welcome, Erin and Brett, to the Unlock Your Dream podcast.
Well, thank you for having us. This is exciting. We're excited to tell our story and hopefully inspire other people.
Oh, I love that. So we do have a lot of entrepreneurs here that usually try to tune in, and it's just a good place to hear how did people do what they're doing and how to get where they are, especially with something kind of as innovative as you guys have done in the market. Any part of your story that you guys want to share? I know it's really cool to me that we have both a Clemson civil engineer and then a USC registered nurse. Like, what a cool background to somehow land you to this phase of your life. So anything that you want to share about your story and kind of how you came from college to get into this cool product today?
Sure.
Yeah. So I graduated from Carolina and then worked in Columbia for a couple of years and then moved to Charleston. In 2019, I had my daughter, Chloe, and she was a preemie. So we were in the hospital for a while. She came home on a monitor. So then I ended up not going back to work for nursing. So then fast forward to 2020 is when I met Britt on the beach and we started talking about how much we hated our bags and how much we wanted to make something that was more functional.
Yep. And so my older daughter they were 1.5 at the
They were
time.
18 months, yeah.
We were going to the beach. It was during the summer of COVID. We were going to the beach almost every day. I was working part-time as an engineer still and just we wanted to create something. And so we kind of were spitballing about what we wanted to invent. And it was this backpack. I mean, I was using a canvas backpack at the time. She hated everything she was using at the beach. Mm-hmm. And so we started looking up injection molding. So that's the technique that we make the bags with. So you create a mold first and you're able to then inject it with the material is EVA. Ours specifically is a non-toxic. That was very important to us because especially a backpack, it's on your skin. It's it's in your house. If you have pets, my 1.5-year-old, or she's 2 now, she was gnawing on the strap at one point. It's very important that it's non-toxic to us. So 2020, we started looking up injection molding. It took us 3 years to create our product.
We worked with a company out of Charlotte just to help us design the product mm-hmm. and try to, just get everything together, at least our CAD drawings and everything so that we could approach factories. And we just kept being told, no, yes, we can't do this. You need this really high MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity. So it took us a lot of just beating the pavement, calling people, emailing, to even get a factory that would entertain our product.
Right. And then Pop Foam is who we're using now, and they took it to the finish line. They took our CAD files, which were great, but they had to, we were at 95%, and they say creating a product, the hardest part about creating a product is getting it to that that last 5%. You can talk, you can spin ideas, you can do, talk all day pretty much. Getting it to actually be produced was, I would say, our biggest hurdle.
Yeah. And Pop Foam wouldn't even work with us until we had it at that 95%. So right. We had to be very far along to even get a conversation.
And at that point we had, I would say, 5 prototypes. We had cardboard prototypes. We had everything to 3D printed backpacks that looked like You couldn't get an idea of it, honestly.
It was so rigid. It was so uncomfortable. It just, we were, the prototypes were pretty interesting. We have some pictures, I think, on our website or Instagram.
Yeah. So that was, I would say, the hardest part when people, ask us, they're like, what was, your biggest hurdle? I would say getting the bag actually produced. We had the idea. We knew exactly what we wanted. We knew it would be a product that would sell. I mean, during the summer that we had these prototypes, people were like, when is this coming? Like, we need it. We were having parents, we were having friends, we were having my mom even, who has, back and shoulder. She needed a backpack. She's like, I need a comfortable backpack that I can bring to the pool and to the beach. I mean, it does not exist. And so we just knew we had to keep pushing forward. And one of your questions that you sent us was like, what is our, the business roles and how do we balance it all? And one of the suggestions we tell people is find a good business partner. We wouldn't be able to do this solo at all. I mean,
can't imagine doing it by myself. And I think we have a really good balance of, if I need some time with family or I have something important going on, she'll take over and get everything done. So it's good to have somebody to bounce things off of and just get a break, because trying to do this alone would be daunting.
Very daunting. And it's hard to, certain people are good at certain things. Erin's extremely organized. I leave stuff over at her house every day. And so it's just kind of, I would say, find a business partner that's not only like hardworking, intelligent, but also that you balance with, it's, you have the same priorities in life, the same work ethic and the same morals. And that's been honestly a blessing, because we met 2020 and we started this business, and it's been, for example, Chloe, her 5-year-old is over at my house right now with a babysitter because her babysitter canceled last minute.
I thought she had tennis camp.
Yeah.
It's not today.
If you have children, if you have children and want to start a business, find a business partner who's on your same page.
Exactly. And has a child your child's same age.
And you can play.
That is incredible. So you guys, I was going to ask you how you met. You literally just met on the beach, like towels near each other, having a conversation.
We were actually met at a marina too. Yeah, Charleston, as you know, is a small town. So everyone knows everyone. Our husbands are both physicians, so they have connections. But our older daughters are the same age. And so we met at the marina first.
It was random.
It was a baby.
Yeah, both of them were babies. And we just met inside of our marina. We were waiting to go out on the boats. We were talking. Found out we had mutual friends. And didn't see each other for
years.
Yeah. And then we would always go to station 28 and a half on Sullivan's Island during COVID summer, when you couldn't take a chair, a cooler. You couldn't take anything out there, which made us, but sorry. And that's where we kind of rekindled or started our friendship, really.
Yeah.
And started working on this product.
Yep. That's where it began.
Wow. And there's so much to unpack right there. I love, first of all, just your heart at creating a product. It's like, I mean, having an engineering background, I just can't even, I mean, I'm sure your brain is constantly working on like, okay, how do we do the strap, and how do we design this, and how do we make it comfortable, and how does the lid, that's just incredible to me but then you would have to go to the table with so many products and continue to hear no, but you guys didn't let ever how many no's that you got, you just kept going until you got a yes, and figuring out how to navigate this world of entrepreneurism to create something that that there's a need for. I just think that's so cool. And a lot of people probably give up when it seems a little hard, or they get a no, or they don't know how they're going to do a minimum order, or, all the things that can get into your way. But clearly you guys were willing to just push through. And I'm sure had days when one of you were down and the other one, again, going back to business.
I was just going to say that there's definitely been days where we both are. Actually, it's normally one and the other is like, no, let's do this. We got this. It's normally one of us being like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. We have a lot of bags coming in this next shipment. And it's definitely, I feel like I'm the one lately that I'm like, oh my gosh. So she's like, we got this. We're good.
They're coming straight to our garages. The last order came to my garage, the Woda distribution center downstairs.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we pump each other up, like you said. And there were years, I would say like a couple of years in the middle, where we just had so much going on and we were getting so many no's that it kind of, went downhill for a minute, but then we picked it back up. And that's just part of being an entrepreneur and starting a business.
Yeah. And I would say we got the prototype from our factory that we're using. We received that in June of last year, right? And that's when people have asked us, what was your aha moment? And we have a video of both of us putting the actual bag, like what came from the mold, on our backs, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a good product. I mean, I walked into my like back home that day, and my husband even looked at it and was like, oh, that's going to sell. That's good. These other prototypes were comical. So, I mean, it's been, I would say since then, since June, it has been full throttle.
Full throttle.
That's been
we haven't stopped or, it's just gone uphill from here.
Yeah.
Which is great. And we've had such good response, and we have gotten to use the bag for a year now.
Right. We love it.
And it is life-changing.
Yeah.
For me, I have
only a year old, you guys.
issues.
Crazy. Right. That is crazy. Wow. Yeah. So I originally heard about you guys through my friend Tara Pate, who, if you're listening, go back and listen to her episode on Daisy. It's just incredible. But, it just is such a cool bag. Like you said, just being a mom, having things you need to pack on leave. I was even thinking about your husband's. So my background's as a PA in medicine. And I'm even thinking about like going in and out of clinic. It would be so nice to have something like that just to throw in that. You never know what you're going to encounter in clinic that day.
As a nurse, that was one of my biggest things was, especially when we started this during COVID, you want to be able to wipe your bag down on the bottom, especially when it's sitting on the floor. It's been in the hospital. My husband's in and out of the hospital all the time. Wanted to be able to wipe it down with like a Lysol wipe or Capicide wipe or something. And this material can hold up to all of that without getting broken down or fading. And that was a really important thing for me as a nurse.
Right. To get it just clean. And, you can use a Lysol wipe. It's antibacterial.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. And I think a lot of times for COVID too, a lot of us woke up to that non-toxic vibe, which I think for women, especially, our age, whether it's, you're wanting to have kids, get pregnant, all this season, we've just become so much more aware of what's going in and on our body. And so I think, like you said, even if you were looking for something like that, who would have even thought you could have that option with a backpack? And I just think
we didn't. The only thing we knew is we wanted to keep production out of China for several reasons. One of them being, you don't necessarily know what China puts into their products. Unfortunately, they can tell you one thing and it's not true. And they can get away with it because their product, the cost is cheaper. So that was one of our engineers was like, you got to do it in China. You got to do it in China. That's where EVA production is. And I was, we were saying we don't want that. And so Pot Foam, the factory we were working with, they have a trademarked, their compound is different than any other EVA product out there. And so unless it's created by Pot Foam. And so we're free of phthalates, mercury, and lead, which are three big things that you don't even know. Like you don't know that it would be on your back or on your shoulder, or again, if your dog chews on it.
And we were trying to make a product that we would want to use. Yeah, exactly. And we want to use something that's non-toxic. And yes, we could have produced this probably quicker and cheaper in China, but that wasn't the priority for us. Obviously, we want it to be affordable, but having the non-toxic foam was a game changer for us.
Yeah.
I love that. And it sounds like you guys probably went to the table. I love going back to what you said a little earlier with just having someone who aligns with your morals. It sounds like your company, you have some very strong principles that you stand on, and everything kind of goes back to those decisions, which I love and respect so much, because maybe it would be easier. Maybe you could have gotten it done 2 years ago, but it's, worth it in the end. Have the right thing at the right time. That's true to what you guys believe. And it's a piece of you going into, all these stores and homes and on the beach and all the things that you guys are really proud of.
Yes, we are.
I love that. And I love too what you said about having a business partner who aligns with your morals. I think sometimes it's easy to seem like it's, you just go alone, but for, those of us in business with other people, it's great to, like you said, really take the time to make sure you're doing something good together and it's a good fit going into your product.
Yes.
So I think that's so cool. Anything that you have had connection wise along the way? Was there anyone who made your journey maybe a little easier, or anyone who helped your business to get to where it is today?
I'll let you start with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a very good mutual friend, Katie Shields. She's the owner of Tipsy Spritzers. Again, another organic wine spritzer. It's delicious, based out of Charleston. We came to her first with one of the very rigid, like we talked about, prototypes. And we walked into her house, and we hadn't told anyone the idea, because everyone we had, they said, keep this, zip this idea up.
We didn't talk about it for years.
So she didn't know what the idea was. Well, we came to her, we set up a time, came to her, and it was on either my back or your back. And she turned and she said, is that it? Is that the product? That's it. That's it. And her reaction alone was pumped us up. But she has given us great advice for how to start the business and really just like power throughout to keep moving forward. She's a force within herself.
Absolutely.
She's a very hard worker. And so she's given us a lot of inspiration. And then
and Sarah Rossi,
who owns Bow and Row, another local store on King Street.
She's just given us a lot of business advice, retail advice.
We can throw, I keep saying I need to pay her consulting fee because the random text she gets from me, I'm like, what would you do in this scenario? And she loves helping, but it's normally at like 9 p.m. or whatever. But so she's been wonderful as well.
And then my dad has been our financial advisor, our CPA, helped with the taxes. He's just been really just jumping in there. He's been a big cheerleader for us, supportive.
Yeah.
And
helped us out with things that we didn't even know needed to be done.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's the tax side of things with small businesses is another whole. She has fully, thank you, Erin.
I'm learning so much. And I'm sure my dad is super proud, but also like, you know any of this?
Yeah, no, they don't teach you that, any of that in school. Engineers know nothing about that. So
nursing, I do
needles,
medication stuff.
Yeah. So those, I would say, have been our 3 people that we've really leaned on from start until, Katie was from the initial start of it. And then her dad has been just taking a lot of
And then obviously I want to add our husbands and families.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about that this morning. Those guys, they have been beyond supportive.
They have.
Our kids are supportive. They're our biggest cheerleaders. They, from being in the distribution center in the garage to just giving us real advice and real opinions. We want to say thank you, Charles.
Yes, they are supportive. That's another thing. If you want to start a business, make sure you have a very supportive partner.
Right. Partner in work and life.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are people who, their significant others are not, and it can be just a continual uphill battle. But I love that your kids are seeing you do something really powerful for your family. Now, are you guys still practicing as a nurse and working as an engineer at all? Or are you doing Woda full-time?
Full-time. There is not a minute to do.
No.
I humored going back to engineering earlier this year, and it was, there's no way. No, the amount of work right now for Woda is
it's a lot.
We need help, honestly.
Like I said, I didn't go back after Chloe was a preemie just because I was I had PTSD from all that scenario, and then she was finally getting better, and then COVID hit. So I felt like my husband coming in with all the germs was enough for our household at that time. And then Woda took off. So that's what we do.
That is powerful. Gosh, I love that. That is so awesome. Yeah, we'll have to get those girls on the podcast too. I'd love to hear Sarah's story. Let's have them too. That sounds fun. They can tell their story.
They would just be like running back
from the distribution center.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know you guys touched on this a little bit, but just obviously you mentioned the girls and, your husbands and your full-time moms too, and full-time business owners. How do you guys balance being mom, business owner? And I know you said 9 p.m. text, and I think that's really eye-opening for some people too. Entrepreneurial life isn't trading time for money. You probably are going to put a lot more in at the beginning before you're able to see the return. And you do have that sort of entrepreneurship roller coaster, like you guys said. So, how are you balancing? I feel like living the dream, mom, kids, full-time entrepreneur, full-time mom. What does that look like for you guys?
I think it is the dream and adrenaline, a lot of it.
And there are days where we do better with balancing and days that we don't, just like anybody else. Yeah. And I'm notorious for waking up around 2 a.m. and not being able to get back to sleep and then sending emails and messages, and I'm sure people love that.
Yeah.
But, so we do have anxiety, and we are working all the time and thinking all the time about this, especially in these times when we're about to get our shipment and we're trying to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Mm-hmm. I think we did this motion. That's right now we have nothing in stock. We've sold out completely, which is great. Scary. I guess it shouldn't happen in business, but we need this other shipment, but it's kind of 2 weeks where we're able to catch up on stuff. But I think that it's living the dream. We gotta
blessed,
thankful. Yeah. We really are. And it's been a lot of hard work. And so I think that it's adrenaline. It's also picking up when the other needs help.
Mm-hmm.
There's times with that, and, just pushing through it.
And, I have, Chloe's my only daughter, so she's used to getting my undivided attention. And now that we've ramped up with Woda since last June, she's had to adjust. I've had to adjust. but you give me good pep talks on that.
Yeah, it's good for our daughters to see us
Yeah.
being hard workers, honestly, and that's something that I hope that they take away from it. I mean, they're both becoming little entrepreneurs, like setting up little. My older daughter Sienna was painting shoes the other day and wanted to sell them on the street. So they get it. I mean, at 5, they understand that we're starting a business and selling them. We take them into the wholesale stores and show them, where our product is and stuff. And if, our daughters see it out in public and stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, they have a Woda bag on. So I think, that's also a huge priority for me, is to teach my daughters. My younger ones too.
Our husbands will bring them by the pop-ups for a few minutes. Just to see us.
So there's a lot of, that's a big part of it. Teach them young. They got to work.
Yeah. Persistence, hard work. Do something. It doesn't have to be what you went to school for necessarily.
Right.
If you find another path, but just be a hard worker.
Yeah.
I love that. They're probably learning conflict resolution too. I feel like anytime you go into business with one of your good friends, it's not always flowers and rainbows along the way. You have to work through the challenging times too. And it's like you guys said, you recognize your strengths in each other and kind of lean on that, which I think, again, is just so beautiful. It's a long-term relationship. So, you want to make it work if the challenging times come up too.
Oh, absolutely. And our daughters are best friends too. So it's, it's that makes it easier. We were here yesterday afternoon, it's to play, but now we're working.
And we try to, when we're playing, which it's been a little bit harder lately, but we try to cut it off and we try to just enjoy. But, there are times when you can't. So.
Yes, totally agree with that. And you're right. I mean, if it's nap time or whatever, or 2 a.m., if that's the time when your brain's on and that's when you can plug it in, it's not that clock in at 8, clock out at 5 lifestyle. And I think it's one that, suits the right kind of person. I think it's incredible. Have you guys had any kind of twists and turns along the way? Any surprises, kind of positive or negative, that you want to share that you were like, man, this is really awesome, or, oh, we weren't expecting that along the way?
Do you want the recent order?
Yeah. So recently we noticed that an order that came through was billed, or the billing address was a company that is, known to knock off other products. Mm-hmm. So that kind of threw us for a loop. We're still trying to kind of figure out how we're going to deal with it.
And our engineer pretty much about 6 months ago said, you're bound to be knocked off. It's happened for bog bag. There's now 8 other bog bags you can buy. And so we're the first EVA backpack, but we're probably not going to be the only one on the market. And so we're trying to figure that all out right now. And that's something that I didn't think would happen as quickly as it's going to happen. And it's one of those things. Do we send them the bags with we don't know.
We're trying to look at it like, okay,
it happened 2 days ago. So
we're on their radar. That's a good thing. That means we're out there. People are noticing us. So we're trying to think about it in a positive way, but also trying to figure out how we can protect what we worked on so hard.
Right. So that's a hurdle. I mean, like we said, getting a factory to produce our bags has been a hurdle.
Shipping has been a hurdle. Still is a hurdle currently. We've had to pay more in order to avoid the Panama Canal, reroute to LA, and then have it trucked over just to meet our deadlines and get our bags here, because we wanted to, stand by what we say for delivery dates.
So that's been, and I think that's going to be ongoing forever. I think everyone, if you ask a small business, I feel like they're bringing in a product, they always say shipping. If we can get shipping costs down, shipping costs quicker, get it here quicker.
And in general, costs are up for everyone, for everything. And of course, we're starting this business at the height of, how expensive things are. I mean, hopefully it's the height. I mean, it might continue to go up. So we've had a lot of hurdles. But we just try to figure out the best way to deal with them.
Yep.
That's incredible. Thank you for being real and just vulnerable with something very fresh, but also things like shipping that a lot of us that are shopping don't think about, like, did this come from California? Did it come through the Panama Canal? I mean, it's just like so cool when you think about all the things that you guys have had to think through, every single detail of the creation to someone wearing it on the beach on Sullivan's. I mean, there's so many things that have happened in between that I think a lot of consumers even take for granted. Like, what are you actually paying for? I think that's awesome.
Right.
That's so good. Where did the name come from?
So that was one of our easiest decisions.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
I would say it was in one day. I am Polish. My maiden last name is Orzak. And I just decided to Google water in Polish, and it's Woda, Woda. So I text Erin again. It was like 9 p.m. at night, I think. And I said, what do you think about Woda? It's Polish for water. And she said, my Brent is Polish, her husband.
His mom's family was Polish. So their last name was Wojciechowicz. And it's like the spelling is crazy.
So it was that quick. Woda means water in Polish, and her Brent's family is Polish, and I'm Polish. So it was just,
it just worked perfectly for what we're doing. This is a bag that's intended to be around the water, be washed down by water, and is a water resistant material. So it just, and it sounds cool.
Yeah.
So.
And Woda.
That is so cool. That's so cool. I love that. And right now you have 4 colorways. Is that right?
Yes. We have 4 colors.
So we have sand, high tide blue, oyster pink, and palmetto green. We are working on 2 additional colors.
You have the big size and the mini, right? People can look at 2 different sizes.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah, the minis will be available later,
mid-August.
Mid to late August. They'll be, we're doing pre-orders currently, but then they'll be actually available to ship.
They're in production now, hopefully. I need to email Steve.
Yeah. We got a to-do list.
I mean, I can even see them being like a cute book bag for all these kids, like going to school.
That's perfect. So it's, middle, I would say like a 10-year-old would use it. Our daughters are obsessed with it. We gave them pink ones.
We had to get 2 pink ones, 2 pink samples so that they wouldn't fight over them.
Yes. And they love it. I mean, kids, and you can put custom, charms in the holes. So it's built for those, it's gibbets. The Crocs gibbets can fit in here.
We're working on accessories like a water bottle holder, a cell phone holder. We, we intend this to be the little ones, especially for the minis, for, like she said, school age kids going to swim practice, kids going to sports, because you throw all that sweaty cleats, dirty stuff in the bag. It's not going to absorb smells, harbor mold or mildew, and you can just take it out, rinse it down, and it's fresh instead of like a cloth backpack or a bat bag. I used to play softball, so it get disgusting.
Swim team. I mean, it's good for swim team practice. I've been using the mini recently. I came over to Erin's house yesterday and I brought the mini. Just was easy with 2 bathing suits, 2 towels, and sunscreen. That's all I needed. And so I brought the mini.
Perfect for a shorter trip or not as much
The
stuff.
large one is more for travel, for your big beach trips, for your big boat trips. You want to put a little cooler in there. You want to put.
Or for me that just carries a lot of stuff all the time. I'm an overpacker. So.
I love it. Is the big one
Another thing we wanted to point out is that the front pocket is for personalization. We've had a couple of orders for custom engraving from some boat companies, a couple of places in the Bahamas that we're going to be selling at now. So it looks really cool when you have your logo, sports team.
It's laser etched into it. So it's not painted on. So it's actually in it, and it forms like the green comes out almost like a silver color. The sand is a bit silver, blue is a light blue, and then pink is a light pink. But it looks pretty, really cool. I mean, it's almost like a shiny, like silver. Yeah. That comes out engraved. So we have 3 corporate orders right now that we've gotten. So that's something that was intentional. People ask us all the time, what's that front pocket for? What's the bump out for? And it's for companies or custom engraving purposes, branding.
It's brilliant. You guys have thought of everything. I love it. It's so exciting. And is the bigger one that you could use as a carry-on? Is it a good carry-on size too?
Both technically are carry-on size. The larger one is a bit harder to get under a seat depending on the plane size, but we use it when we travel with our girls. We bring the larger one as a carry-on. The smaller one and put it in the overhead. Or keep at your, I should get at my feet with all the kids' toys and stuff. The smaller one is absolutely carry-on size that goes under the seat very easily.
I just took it on a trip to the Bahamas and it was perfect. Slides right in there. I kept Chloe's iPad, my book, which I obviously didn't have time to read. Bring it.
You brought it.
Water bottle, snacks. What'd you say?
At least you brought it. That's step 1.
It's the thought that counts.
Did you read 1 page?
No.
Good thought.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
So the mini is perfect for under the seat. But then when we went, my dad took an original size and so did my husband and put them in the overheads. And then, if you want to get it out after they let you.
Right.
It fits perfectly right by your feet.
But you know how airlines put in the front, right when you check through, like, does your carry-on fit in this? We made sure that it would legally go by, I guess, the
standard dimensions and stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, I love it. I just feel like my brain's already reeling with like all the people that need one and all the things that you can use them for. It's just the coolest.
It's a great gift. It is a good gift for people. Someone was telling me that they get invited on their neighbor's boat all the time, and the neighbor never takes gas money from them. It's just, kind of Charleston protocol. You don't take gas money from people, sort of thing. And she was like, what can I give them? They take us out on the boat all the time. So she went and bought them a Woda bag for their boat. And I was like, that is so thoughtful. It's a good gift. And so that was something that I was like, tell all your friends to do that. That's a good, instead of giving, your friend that has the boat, the gas money that they're not going to take, or buying them public subs every time, give them a load of that public subs.
My neighbor and friend is a realtor, and she's been giving it as her like closing gift with other Charleston things and beach towels, especially for people who are just moving here. And
people love it.
Yeah. Don't know exactly what they need for the beach.
I know my brain's literally reeling with like cute beach towels, some local sunscreen, maybe like a tipsy in there, just
exactly.
So cool. I love it. Oh, I love it. Well, you guys have shared obviously so much, but anything else that you would want to share with somebody who maybe is thinking about starting a product, or just kind of anything that you wish you had known maybe from the beginning?
I would say find advice from people. I mean, that was something early on that, and people like to give advice. I've had one of my friends reach out to me who now wants to invent a product. And I was like, I love to help you with this. Like, start with a tech pack. Here's who we use. Then go to this company. Here's who we use for the CAD files. Like, I like helping other people out because people helped me out. And so I think that that's something, if you want to start a company or a product, do your research and contact local people. They do want to help you.
And be realistic. I'm a very realistic person. Be realistic that you're going to have good things and bad things. You're going to work hard. It's not, most of the time it just doesn't come easy, and you just can't get too discouraged.
Right.
If it doesn't move quickly.
Realistic. Yeah. I've had people, I don't know if you've had, be like, you guys are killing it. Now you're doing a second size. And I was like, well,
we've worked
hard. We're working for it.
Yeah.
A, and B, it's starting a small business is not all as glamorous as it really is. I mean, it may look like you're like,
on Instagram, all that kind of stuff, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's all the social media, the marketing. I mean, the balancing of everything is just,
and we realistic. Do all of it right now. We don't have, it's just the two of us. We do all of our social media. We've had a little bit of help with just some PR stuff and website stuff, because we've had to learn that as well.
And do you guys do your own fulfillment when it gets shipped to the distribution center?
Sure do. We shipped out
garage.
Yeah, the garage. We don't. Yeah, startup. We shipped out 450.
I might have a pod in my front yard in a couple weeks. Just good.
We shipped out 450 bags, and the first shipment we offered free local delivery, so we were driving all around Charleston dropping off these bags.
We're not going to do that.
It was very time consuming. Yeah, we're doing. That was just kind of a perk for the first order, but now we do like just the vicinity right by our house.
Yeah, we'll do free, our zip code drop off sort of thing, not Charleston.
Yeah. But we did it all. We were the delivery drivers, we were the packagers, we were the inspectors, we did all of it.
I was joking. I cut my hand literally on like the first box that I was putting together, and then smeared blood all over one of the boxes. And I was like, blood, sweat, and tears is not a lie. Like that first box I made had blood on it. Erin was like, you've done one box and you have blood already? And I was like, I'm bleeding.
The sweat part's going to come in when the shipment comes in this week in June in the garage. That'll be fun. So,
you guys, I love this. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Well, I know that we're winding down a little bit on time, but anything else that you guys wanted to share that we didn't get to?
We are taking pre-orders still. We will be taking the pre-orders down very soon because the bags will be here, and it'll just be, you get it shipped out, within the week. We have a pop-up coming up at Timbers, Kiowa.
If you want to see it, we do have people who want to feel it and get their hands on it, because it is, again, like we've said, a different compound. So it is it's flexible. It's softer. It's just more comfortable. Honestly, it's more cushiony. And so when people feel it, I feel like that's a big thing. So if you are listening to this podcast and want to feel it, follow our Instagram or go check it out at one of our wholesalers, I would say order this shipment as well, because we are already halfway through it on pre-orders. All right. Like she ran the numbers today and we only have 80 green left.
Yeah, it's around there.
Yeah. So if you want a green one, which is the hot color,
always sells out first.
Order one. That's all I can say.
But yeah, so our pop-up in Kiowa is on the 16th of July, from 12 to 3. So I know that's kind of a drive for people here in Charleston. But just follow our Instagram and look out for pop-ups if you want to feel it and see it before you buy it.
I love it. And what is your Instagram and website, which I'll obviously put in the show notes, but just in case people are listening?
Website is wodabag.com, and then our Instagram is woda.bag.
Perfect. Now we'll be sure to link that. And Kiowa is such a fun drive. It's such a sweet little drive from town. It's worth it to go check out these bags. So does anybody else you guys in town? In Charleston?
Any pop-ups in town?
Does anybody carry you out? Anybody in the store?
Yes. So I would say Wonderworks has been our kind of biggest, they have they're opening a West Ashley location, so they'll soon have 3 locations, but they ordered a lot, so they could go see the bags at Wonderworks for sure.
We have some other places that had the bags in our first shipment, and some we're going to continue with, and but we do actually have a lot of retailers outside of Charleston. So anybody that's listening outside of Charleston, we're working on getting all this on our website. But we've got retailers all the way from Texas to Tennessee, all over South Carolina. And we are working on a couple of more here in Charleston, and we can update that on our website. I've got a conversation at 2:00 today with a couple of local places. So TBD.
That's now we'll have to look for the store locator so we can all find you guys when we're traveling, and hopefully the Bahamas. That sounds really fun too. I love that.
Oh yeah, Abaco and Hope Sound in the Marina.
Love it. Well, this has been such a treat, you guys. I'm so excited to pop on the website and grab something for our family. But it's been so fun to get to know y'all, and just really appreciate your time and all your wisdom and insight today for your story and anyone else that wants to start a new entrepreneur venture.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, friend, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Feel free to share this podcast with another friend who it may inspire. Leave a review to possibly be featured at the beginning of another episode, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the stories that could help unlock your dream for you.